Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Ashmit Kumar, and here are the headlines that we're tracking this evening. Stock markets rise for the second day, running Sensex gains nearly 600 points and the Nifty gains almost 200. Mid-caps and banks also perk up. Global markets are on the tenterhooks as the US Federal Reserve's two-day monetary policy meeting begins today with inflation running hot. Investors are bracing for yet another steep rate hike. Sources in the Reserve Bank of India pour cold water on non-banking finance companies hoping to issue credit cards, say the issue is not on the table right now, dealing a blow to NBFCs which distribute credit cards of banks they have ties up with. M&M CEO Anish Shah expects strong demand momentum to sustain in the coming months, says the company is working at 100% capacity and aims to ramp up capacity significantly. Also clarifies that automotive, tractor and electric vehicles businesses will not be separated in the short to medium term. That's an exclusive.
The news, not always for the right reasons, but at least now there are right reasons for it to be in the news.
6 months after founder Ashneer Grover's exit from Bharat Pay, Chairman Rajneesh Kumar claims several steps have been taken to bolster corporate governance. Says cash burn is down from $11 million to just $2 million per month. Expects Bharat Pay to be EBITDA positive in 3 months and go public in less than 2 years. That's another exclusive. The hunt for the next Congress president gathers steam. Spokesperson Jairam Ramesh says that anybody is free to contest. Lok Sabha MP Shashi Tharoor and Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot are likely to contest. But several state units back a reluctant Rahul Gandhi for president. Ukraine claims to have exhumed 146 bodies, mostly of civilians, from a mass burial site in eastern Ukraine. Russia has denied allegations of war crimes in Kharkiv. Meanwhile, a symbolic victory for Ukrainian troops as they recapture the village in Luhansk region. Well, let's start the day with the markets action from the Lal Street. Bulls maintained the momentum on the Lal Street as Sensex and Nifty gained for the second straight day. Sensex gained nearly 600 points and the Nifty gained almost 200. Financials were the top gainers, with the Nifty Bank Index gaining over 500 points. Anuj Singhal is joining us now with a quick wrap of the day's market action. Anuj.
Well, another day of big gains for the markets. The bulls in complete control of this market. Financials leading it. A couple of consumption names doing well. IT, of course, is still lagging relatively. There were big gains in the broader market today. Advanced decline looked quite good. And pharma made a big comeback. After a long time, we saw pharma actually, the top gainers were all pharma names, whether it was Apollo Hospitals, Cipla, Sun Pharma or Dr. Reddy's. On the Nifty, of course, in terms of the other prominent gainers, we had Eicher Motors, IndusInd Bank, Tata Steel, Titan, Hero, Asian Paints, Tata Motors, ICICI Bank, HDFC Life and Bajaj Finance. So financials, as I said, continue to do well. So these are a few names which did well in trade. Infosys and Reliance towards the end gave up some gains, and that's why Nifty came off the highs. In terms of futures and option stocks, well, big gains were once again visible in some of these auto names like TVS Motor, which was up about 5%, big gains in MCX, which was up about 5%, and in the broader market pharma names as well. Abbott was a stock which stood out. All in all, a really strong market going into the Fed events with almost no fear of any rate hike.
Well, speaking of cues, here's one major global cue. All eyes are on the crucial US Federal Open Market Committee meeting that starts today. Markets have already priced in another 75 basis points increase in interest rate, but some even expect a jumbo rate hike of 100 basis points as the Fed steps up efforts to tame inflation that spiraled to 8.3% in the month of August.
The Fed needs to continue to execute the strategy they've laid out. I think 75 basis points is the more prudent move this time. And I think they have to signal in their, what's called their SEP, the Summary of Economic Projections, and also, very importantly, what Jay Powell has said in the press conference, that they're going to stay on that path. They cannot be dissuaded. And that is because I think inflation is the clear and present danger here. And I think they have to be prepared, and we have to be prepared for what Chair Powell called, which is some pain, i.e. hopefully a short and shallow recession. But getting inflation under control is job one, and moving methodically up this time 75 basis points and indicating more to come, I think is a better approach.
What's the terminal rate going to be, and how long are they going to stay there? And the marketplace has moved a lot since Jackson Hole and also since the CPI data. So you have a lot of nastiness already priced into the marketplace. And the issue really going forward is at what point will we see the Fed say that they're going to slow this down? What point are they going to start talking about the notion that we're going to reach a point and stay there for a while? And then the issue for the equity market is going to be whether or not it's going to be a softish landing or a recession.
So we do think the strength of the domestic economy is justifiably driving sector-level outperformance, particularly if the forecast is more of a global economic slowdown. At JP Morgan, we're forecasting the Fed rate to hit 4.5% next year, which is in line with the most recent Fed dots. We're expecting 75 basis points this week. One of the things that we're now starting to see developed market central banks respond to, and we think India will be at pace with this, with a 50 basis point increase rather than the 35 basis point rate increase that we had penciled in India, is the fact that the Fed aggressiveness is leading to very significant dollar strength globally.
Well, meanwhile, back in the national capital, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has called the post-pandemic world as VUCA, which is volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. Speaking at the FICCI Leads event, the Finance Minister lauded India's pace of digitization and said that digital payments is the future of financing.
As someone from a college told me, we've heard of woke politics, we've heard of woke thinking, but future, they said post-pandemic, is going to be VUCA. I didn't get what they were trying to tell me. Then they said it's VUCA. I said, all right, what is VUCA? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and totally ambiguous. If VUCA is what it is going to be for the future of finance, therefore, is going to be even more VUCA. While the global average for fintech adoption is about 64%, India's number is 87%. So absolutely across the board, adopting technology is done by all our people. So the progress in terms of digital is only going to be even further accentuated.
Well, meanwhile, Reserve Bank sources have said that no decision has been taken to allow non-banking financial companies to issue credit cards at present. Now, currently, NBFCs can distribute credit cards of banks with whom they have tie-ups. Latha Venkatesh is joining us now with more details. Latha, tell us what this means for NBFCs. They were quite keen on issuing these cards. Is this a bit of a body blow?
Well, the fact of the matter is that the Reserve Bank is not considering this at the moment. Sources close to the central bank told us, and I'm quoting verbatim, this issue is not on the table right now. Now, it becomes important to clarify this because there has been market speculation that very strong NBFCs like Bajaj Finance may be allowed to issue their own credit cards. You know, at the moment, they are allowed to distribute credit cards of other banks like Bajaj Finance distributes RBL and DBS, but they distribute that only into the top metros, whereas Bajaj Finance lends in a lot of tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 companies. So if they're allowed to issue credit cards, they can really mine that depth. But it is not on the table. Now, the reason why the speculation in the minds of investors came in was because Reserve Bank issued a fresh set of master rules on credit cards on April 21st. And there in that was a sentence, without the prior approval of the Reserve Bank, NBFCs shall not issue debit cards, credit cards, charge cards, either physically or virtually. Now, this gave the impression that with the prior approval it is possible. However, when we asked these sources, they said it is a complete reiteration, a cut-paste of a rule that already existed, and nothing has changed, nothing fresh is on the table.
Right, Lata, thanks a lot for that quick update. But let's move ahead now to some of the other headlines that we're tracking. Sanjeev Mehta, the president of industry body FICCI, says that the spike in retail inflation isn't homegrown, and several factors, including the COVID supply chain disruption and the Russia-Ukraine war, are behind it. Mehta, who is also the CMD of FMCG giant HUL, told my colleague Abhimanyu Sharma that one needs to ensure that low unit price packs are protected as far as possible because they go to the consumers with low income.
That retail inflation is not a homegrown. This has happened, inflation has happened for several factors. First is the supply chain disruption which happened during the COVID era. The second was huge amount of spending, fiscal stimulus, which was done in many Western developed nations. And the third has been the war in Ukraine, as well as between Ukraine and Russia. I think these are the three factors which has resulted in inflation. And the difference this time is that it has spread across commodities.
So are you looking at a fresh round of price hikes, even though at HUL price hikes are always the last resort?
You know, price hikes again depend on what happens to commodity. There is no one-to-one correlation between the price increase of commodities and the price increase of our finished products. If you look at the last quarter, our net material inflation was in the vicinity of 21%, whereas the price hike that we had taken was just about 12%.
Well, here's another CNBC-TV18 news break that gets confirmed. Inox Green Energy is all set to make its D-Street debut as market regulator SEBI has approved its 740 crore rupees IPO proposal. Sources tell us that the issue comprises of fresh issuance of shares worth 370 crore rupees and offer for sale of the same amount by promoter Inox Wind. The IPO will likely be floated in the second half of October. Global investment giant KKR is expanding its investment in India's clean energy space. The company will invest over 3,500 crore rupees in Hero Group's energy arm, Hero Future Energies. The investment is expected to drive the company's growth in domestic as well as global markets as well. As support capacity expansion across technologies such as solar, wind, battery storage and green hydrogen. Lender of a subsidiary of Cafe Coffee Day has moved the NCLT seeking insolvency resolution process against the firm with the NCLT. This is in connection with a loan default of over 120 crore rupees by the subsidiary. Coffee Day has requested its subsidiary for amicable settlement of the matter via discussions with the lender. Well, the big newsmaker of the evening, the MD and the CEO of M&M, Anish Shah, is seeing strong demand momentum and the company is planning to ramp up capacity. Speaking to Parikshit Luthra, Shah said M&M is already working at 100% capacity utilization. The SUV portfolio is seeing strong demand and Anish Shah is hoping to increase capacity far more than the current 30%. He also clarified that the automotive, tractor and electric vehicles businesses will not be separated in the short to medium term.
We have huge demand, as you know, across all our models, and therefore our capacity is fully utilized. And we are expanding capacity. We may have some of that in the next few months, but then more in a few months beyond that. For us, capacity creation is not as much about the plant. Our Chakan plant has the ability to expand and be able to put in more lines. It's about getting the entire supply base ready to be able to generate a lot more capacity for us. We're not looking at a 20-30% capacity increase. We're looking at far greater than that. The step we've taken with the EV co being separate is really the primary step. There are no plans in the short or medium term to look at any further separations as such. And we believe that with the new EV company that we are setting up with an investment from British International Investments, will really be a company that takes electric to the next level.
Well, you can catch that entire conversation with Anish Shah, Managing Director and CEO at M&M, on our special broadcast news center at 5:15 and 7:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. Well, staying with the auto sector, Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari says that India should target bringing down its logistics cost to 10% from the current 14 to 16% of this. The minister feels will enhance India's export competitiveness. Speaking at an event in the national capital, Gadkari said that the government was looking at developing 27 green express highways.
The automobile industry's growth is so fast that presently the day will come within 5 years, that whatever the population strength will be equal to our automobile strength. We have taken a decision to make 27 green express highway. We will reduce the time and will reduce the pollution. So the idea is reducing the logistic cost from 14 to 16% to 10%. That will be a great saving, and by which we will have more export. At least we will increase 50% exports, and that is very important for our economy.
Shares of Canfin Homes slumped in trade after Girish Kuzgi resigned as the MD and CEO of the company 2 years before his term ends, citing personal reasons. Now, Kuzgi was appointed the top boss for the Canara Bank promoted company in September 2019 for a 5-year term ending 2024. China's coal imports from Russia soared to a 5-year high in August as the country's power demand rose due to severe drought and heat wave. China imported more than 8.5 million tons versus 7.4 million tons in July, registering a 57% jump in coal imports year on year. Back home, Union Steel Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has said that the demand from industry to cut export and import duties is being discussed at the highest levels. Scindia said he has written to his colleagues in the government on the matter and promised that a judicious decision will be taken soon.
One question on the issue of cuts that are being considered by the government in export duties for iron and steel intermediates.
I had mentioned this to you all, that this is certainly something that is under active study by my department as well as the government. We are certainly discussing this at the highest level. When a decision is taken on this, you shall be the first to be informed.
So just on the similar issue of import duties being required to cut down on, especially on key inputs, whether that's magnesium or natural gas, custom to natural gas, is that also something being considered?
I have, through my advisory committee in the steel ministry, and as you're aware, I've set up 2 advisory committees, one for the integrated steel producers and the second for the secondary steel industry. I'm actively engaging with both of them. We have formulated issues that need to be looked at, both at the ISP level and the SSI level. I'm in the process of writing to my colleagues on these issues. We will certainly deliberate it and take a judicious decision in the near future.
Well, another big newsmaker this evening. 6 months after founder Rajneesh Grover's exit from BharatPe, the company's chairman Rajneesh Kumar claims that several steps have been taken to bolster corporate governance. Speaking to Ritu Singh, Kumar said that the company's cash burn has come down from $11 million to just $2 million per month. Kumar also expects BharatPe to turn EBITDA positive in 3 months and go public in less than 2 years.
The cash burn, which used to be $11 million per month, it is now down to little above $2 million. So which is a big improvement. And within next 2 months, or at best in 3 months, we will be EBITDA positive. So which is a big achievement for the company.
You know, that brings me to my next question, and that profitability was a key target for you to go ahead with your IPO plans. What is the update on that front? When do you plan to take BharatPe public? And what are the milestones, apart from this profitability, that you hope to achieve before BharatPe goes public?
Look, there is again a clarity on one thing, that there should be a consistent record of a few quarters as far as the growth and profit is concerned, so that it gives confidence to the investors that the company has a plan, it is working to a plan, and there is a potential for growth and profit both. So that confidence, at whatever stage we feel that the company can confidently go and tell the investing public that, look, this is how we are performing and what our plans are, and we will be able to achieve those plans. We would like to go to the market with that confidence and depend upon market conditions, and there is a process to be followed about like filing the application and approvals. So no fixed time frame, but 18 to 24 months, that's what the investor and the board and the management team feels, that 18 to 24 months is the time period by which we can aim to list BharatPe.
Well, you can catch that entire conversation at 6:30 and 10:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. Well, with that, it's time now to head into a very short break. But on the other side, the hunt for the next Congress president gathers steam. Spokesperson Jairam Ramesh says that anybody is free to contest. More details when we return. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the day's national headlines. Senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra enters its 13th day. Gandhi, along with other leaders and party workers, resumed the yatra from Kerala's Alappuzha district. Jairam Ramesh, the party general secretary in charge of communications, has claimed that the yatra has already covered 250 kilometers. And while Rahul Gandhi hits the ground to connect with the masses, the Congress party is likely to elect a new president as it struggles to revive its political fortunes. This will be the first time in 20 years that the party will elect a new president. None of the Gandhi family members are in the fray so far. Sources tell us that Shashi Tharoor has received a go-ahead from Sonia Gandhi to run for the post. We also learn that Ashok Gehlot is likely to contest for the post. Senior leader Jairam Ramesh had tweeted earlier that anybody is free to contest. It's an open process and that no permission is required. Parikshit Luthra is joining us now with more updates. Parikshit, who are the leading contenders at this point, and is a Gandhi name possible to enter this fray in a while?
You never know. Since 2014, we've seen at least 3 or 4 times that these Congress Working Committee meetings have taken place where Sonia Gandhi's name has been endorsed, where Rahul Gandhi's name has been endorsed to lead the Congress party once again. Even now, despite calls for the likes of Shashi Tharoor and Ashok Gehlot, there are at least 10 state Congress committees which have voted in favor of Rahul Gandhi. So there is still a large section of the Congress party wanting Rahul Gandhi to take up the mantle once again. But yes, there are some strong murmurs in favor of Ashok Gehlot and Shashi Tharoor. In fact, sources telling us that Shashi Tharoor had indeed met Sonia Gandhi to gauge her mind on how this election would actually take place, what's her idea of a free and fair election. And we believe from sources that the Congress president told Tharoor that she is totally supportive and welcoming of a contest as well. She also stressed in that meeting that she would not be putting forth an official candidate and would remain neutral in this exercise. At the same time, Manish Tiwari, Anand Sharma, Prithviraj Chavan, Bhupender Singh Hooda are also believed to be considering contesting for this election. The G23 will decide on a consensus candidate possibly as well. All of them saying that they do not need anyone's nod to stand for this election. They want the electoral roll to be transparent as well. So even though there is still some time till the 30th of September when the nominations will be filed, this fight is going to be very interesting.
Right, Parikshit, it will be quite interesting. The next few days will hold the key to Congress's fortunes. But that's all the time that we have for. It's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to CNBC TV18. The news and updates will continue right here on the other side.